The most powerful being in the universe is your father, the god of the sky, the king of Olympus. His lightning is the loudest sound in the world, and his blood runs in your veins. Congratulations. You will most likely not survive childhood. Because being a child of Zeus is not the gift the stories sell you. It is one of the most dangerous things you can possibly be born as. And tonight, you are going to live it. If you know the children of Zeus from the screen from a certain series about a boy at a camp for young demigods, you are picturing summer cabins, glowing swords, cool powers, a quest with your friends. Hold that picture in your mind. Now set it gently on fire. Because the real Greek myths tell a far darker story, and the monster in it is not some beast hiding in a maze. The monster is family, and her name is Hera. Let me introduce your stepmother. Hera is the queen of the gods, and the goddess of marriage itself. And your father, Zeus, breaks that marriage again and again and again with goddesses, with mortal women, with anyone he pleases. Hera cannot punish Zeus. He is the king. He is stronger than her. So her endless, boiling anger goes looking for a target it actually can reach. And that target is you and your mother. Hold on to that, because it is the shape of every story you are about to live. The rage that cannot touch the one who earned it always falls on whoever is standing nearby. So let's begin before you are even born, because that is when it begins. Say your mother is a mortal woman named Semele. You are still inside her, not yet born. And Hera, smiling in disguise, leans in and whispers an idea into your mother's ear. Ask Zeus to show himself as he truly is, in his full divine glory. So your mother asks, and Zeus, who swore an oath to give her anything she wanted, cannot take it back. He reveals himself, and no mortal can look upon a god unshielded. The glory burns her to ash where she stands. You should die with her. But Zeus reaches into the fire, snatches your half-formed body, and sews you into his own thigh to finish growing. Months later, you are born out of your father's leg. The myths call you Dionysus. And before you have taken a single breath, you have already been hunted. Or say your mother is the gentle goddess Leto. Hera forbids every patch of solid ground on earth from giving her shelter, and sends a great serpent, Python, to chase her pregnant in labor across the whole world. She staggers from land to land, turned away everywhere, until one small floating island finally takes pity and lets her stop. And there, at last, you are born. The old writer Apollodorus tells it plainly. She was hounded all over the earth simply for carrying you. Welcome to the world, little god. Or say your mother is a young woman named Io. To hide her from Hera, Zeus turns her into a white cow. Hera is not fooled for a single second. She calmly asks for the cow as a gift, ties her to a post, and sets a giant with 100 eyes to watch her, so that some of those eyes are always awake. And when that watchman is finally killed, Hera sends a single stinging fly to chase your mother, still trapped inside the cow, in screaming circles across entire continents. Her crime, again, was simply being wanted by your father. So let's say you survive your own birth. Surely now you are safe. You are only a baby. And in one of the oldest and strangest versions of your story, Hera sends the Titans for you. They come to your cradle, and they lure you, an infant, closer with shiny, rattling toys. And when you reach for them, they tear you apart. They devour all of you but your heart. Your father arrives too late and scatters them with thunderbolts, and from that one surviving heart he builds you all over again. You have now been murdered as a baby and brought back. And your stepmother is still only getting started. Because here is the worst of them. Here is what happens if you are the single greatest demigod who ever lived. They will call you Heracles. You are so strong that when Hera slips 2 serpents into your crib to kill you, you simply grab them, one in each tiny fist, and strangle them, laughing. So she changes her plan. She stops trying to kill you. She waits. She lets you grow into a man. She lets you fall in love with a wife, Megara. She lets you have children of your own. She lets you build the one thing a hunted god was never meant to have: a happy, ordinary family. And then, when the table is full and everyone you love is in the room, she reaches into your mind and she pours madness into it. And in that madness, you can no longer tell your wife and your children from monsters, and you kill them with your own hands, with that famous, God-given strength. Now, sit for a moment with the cruelty of that. She did not strike you down. She turned you into the weapon and aimed you at the only people you loved. And those 12 labors, the famous quests, the lion, the many-headed hydra, the journey that every hero story since has quietly copied, they are not a trophy hunt. They are a punishment. They are the sentence a broken man agrees to serve, trying to scrub his own children's blood from his hands for a crime that someone else poured into his head. The hero's journey began as penance. And this is the part the screen will never show you. On the screen, being Zeus's kid hands you a sword and a destiny. In the real myth, it hands you a stepmother who will spend all of eternity making certain that the single best thing about you, the divine blood, the power, the famous father, is the exact thing that ruins your life. The gift and the curse are the same drop of blood. So why would the Greeks tell it this cruelly? Why turn the children of their greatest god into their most tragic figures? Because they were quietly telling the truth about something you already know. You do not have a god for a father. But you know this story. You know the talent that makes other people resent you instead of love you. You know the family you were born into and never got to choose. You know the very thing you get praised for that somehow also leaves you standing alone. You know what it is to be punished quietly for something you never even chose, the way you were born, the place you came from, the gift you did nothing to earn. Every real blessing seems to arrive with its own Hera attached to shadow the exact size of the light. The Greeks did not invent that ache. They just drew the shadow as a goddess and made her immortal so that none of us would ever forget she is there. I'm the myth keeper. The real gods are stranger and crueler and far more honest than anything a screen will ever sell you, and I have a few thousand more of their stories. Subscribe and I'll keep the fire lit for you.